guys, welcome to episode 13 of the Ladywing Crafts podcast. My name is Zakia and I'm coming to you from my apartment in Tuscaloosa, Alabama on Friday, February the 16th, 2018. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Ladywing Designs, and you can PM me on either of those platforms if you would like to get in contact with me. But also feel free to email me at ladywingdesigns@gmail.com if you would prefer to email me. That's perfectly fine as well. And what else? I always forget, like halfway through. I never remember what I need to say. So Ravelry group for the podcast can be found by searching Ladywing Crafts Podcast on the Groups tab. There you'll find threads for each episode, which have show notes and, the usual, any giveaways that we have going on, the knit along, we currently have one happening, and just the usual threads, introduction, show us what you're working on, which can be anything, knitting, crocheting, sewing, weaving, whatever you do, whatever you make. If it's crafty, feel free to put it in there. What are you reading or listening to? So head over there. Be chatty, I suppose, is the right word. And links to the Ravelry group and project pages, etc. will all be in the down bar below. So check that out. And it'll be the same show notes that are in the Ravelry thread as well. It's all the same links. So, because I type the show notes on Ravelry as I'm editing, and then I copy paste and put all the links in on YouTube. So it's literally the same show notes. So that's my intro. How are you guys? Welcome back to any returning viewers. Welcome to any new viewers. I hope everyone sees something that they like and enjoy. This is my second time recording this. I got almost all the way through the last take and was sniffing really bad because I hadn't taken my allergy pill. So we're just going to hope that it's a little better this time because I really only have enough time now to do this once and be done before I have to go to class. So apparently I'm going to keep saying every week that it might become a 2-week podcast, but I'm going to podcast every week. And honestly, I feel like I could have gone 2 weeks this time, but one of the reasons why I'm not is this giant stack of retail therapy. Like I said on the last episode, I hate it like sitting up because it builds up, and this is the last of it. But again, I wanted to show it to you guys before I started using it. That's what I said the last time that I needed to say again. So episode 12 will have very recently come out. By the time that you guys are seeing this, episode 12 will still be pretty new because I recorded it last week. Literally a week ago, last Friday. And it's just taken me this long to finish editing and get it uploaded. So that will have been on YouTube for a little bit because I'll probably finish the editing, upload it, and then start editing this one. So these will come out pretty close together, so you'll kind of be seeing 2 weeks of work, essentially. It's just going to be split up a little bit. And I think that's everything that I said the last time that I needed to say again. That's really the only big thing. It's been kind of a busy week here. I've got tests next week. I had to work, and I have to work this weekend. Valentine's Day was 2 days ago, so whether you celebrate Singles Awareness Day, which was yesterday, or Valentine's Day, or Galentine's Day, whatever. I hope that was a good holiday for you guys. We still technically haven't celebrated. He had to work, my boyfriend had to work like that evening and night of Valentine's Day. So we're going out hopefully tomorrow. We're gonna go see Black Panther and go out to eat. Yeah. So I'm super excited about that. I'll try to remember to take a picture of my outfit. Like, it's not as awesome as some people's. Me and my mom were on Instagram talking about it a little earlier. Some people are totally going all out, and I love it. And I wish that I still had. I used to have some African folk fabric from a dance number a while ago, but I honestly don't know where it is. Yeah. Honestly, the only thing that I really wish I knew how to do was like the head wraps. Oh, I would love to wrap my hair up like that. 'Cause it's this like bright yellow fabric. It's awesome. But yeah, I truthfully don't really know where it is anyway, so it's not gonna make too much of a difference. But yeah, so that's what's happening. I hope everyone had a good week, a good little holiday in the middle of the week. Hope you've been crafty, of course. So let's grab some knitting. Let's get into it. Oh, so I do need to do admin first. And not that much admin this week. The only thing that I have is just a reminder about the spring garment knit along, which is still going on until April the 30th. I will link the chatter thread, as always, in the description box. In that first post and in the header on each page, it has all of the details. Remember, it does need to be a garment. What else? Like, I don't have these written down, and I didn't look in the thread before, so I'm just kind of thinking off the top of my head. It doesn't have to be just knitting. It can be crocheted, weaving. It can be sewn. Anything that could give you a finished garment, it's totally fine. Like I said before, if it's crafty, feel free to share it and everything. So I also, in the past week, have opened the FO thread, which I will also leave a link to below. And yeah, so as always, make sure that whether you're posting in the chatter or the FO thread, that you are a member of the Ravelry group, because you need to be a member of the Ravelry group to win prizes. I will be drawing one prize from each of those threads, and what was I going to say? Oh, so the FO thread, no chatter, no chatter, and I made that very clear. It's like in all caps. So no chatter in that thread. If you finish more than one garment that is eligible for the CAL, again, check the chatter thread for the rules. I'll have to go over to the FO thread and repost those rules, all the details there. But yeah, so if you finish more than one garment, just put them both in the FO thread, but put them in different posts for it to count as more than one entry. If you have two projects, two different projects, and you put both of the pictures in one post, it's only going to count as one entry. I'm not going to split that up for you, so make sure that you do that, so that each one will count as an entry for you. And I think that's the only thing that I needed to say. Oh, no. The really great part for you guys. So April 30th is on a Monday. It's actually the Monday of finals week. So technically that's the date that I've been using as the end date for the CAL. And I'm just going to keep saying that, April 30th. But you will have, I will not be closing the FO thread or the chatter thread until I podcast. So like if I podcast later that week, I'll close it when I get ready to podcast and draw for winners. And if it doesn't happen until the next week, I might close it that weekend, or I might leave it open, you know, that extra however many days until I podcast. So you guys will you'll definitely be getting at least, you know, half a week of extra days. So yeah, that'll give you some time if you don't exactly have it done knitted with the knitting or crocheting or whatever by the 30th. It'll give you a couple extra days if you're running behind on blocking or taking pictures, whatever. That'll give you guys just a little bit of extra time. I think that is everything I wanted to say about it now. Yeah, so yeah, I think that's it. And don't worry, the chatter thread, I'll probably lock it when I go to pull the prize from that thread, but I'll probably unlock it after that so that you guys can keep chatting or anything, you know, like replying to each other and stuff in that thread. So it won't, the chatter thread won't be locked forever. The FO thread, I don't know. It might get locked, like permanently, or I might unlock that one too if you guys want to post later FOs there, but you know, there won't be another drawing or anything for prizes. So that's it for cow news. Remember, the links are in the description box, and I didn't come across any new knit-alongs to talk about this week, so let's jump into showing off, because I kind of am today. I don't really even count this as showing off anymore. It's kind of just me wearing it, because you guys have seen it, and I wear it all the time. So this is my Rosemont cardigan by Hannah Fettig, and I made it out of Knit Picks Wool of the Andes, worsted, in the Delft Heather colorway, which is this beautiful blue, and it's got really obvious purple undertones when you're looking at it in person. Yeah, but it's just, I'll turn around, so it's just stockinette cardigan with this huge shawl collar, and you can see it is a raglan increases, and I think I said shawl collar just now. I don't even know if that's technically the right term, doesn't matter, but yeah. There are a bunch of short rows up here so that it can fold over, and then it just goes down. And I love it. As you can see, I still haven't added my pockets like I wanted to. I need to remember that, because I really would like some pockets on here. So I need to do that soon. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that should be part of my Cravin It. Do my pockets on my Rosemont. So yeah, that's my little bit of showing off. So let's get into FOs. I only have 2 this week. One of them I showed the picture, the finished object in, like, I posted a picture in the last video of it being finished while I was showing it to you guys as a whip. I had already finished it. That's the problem with editing almost a week after, because like things have happened. So this is what I'm just calling the sushi hat. And, you know, that story's in the last episode, but yeah, so it's done. And this is the classic knit hat pattern. I still don't remember the designer, so it'll be on screen. But it's done. I actually really like this hat pattern. It's literally just some ribbing, 2x2 ribbing, and then stockinette until you get to, I think, like 7 inches. And this is a free pattern until you get to like 7 inches. And, you know, obviously if you want it to be more slouchy, you can knit it longer, and then you do decreases, and yeah, I love it. My ends are all woven in and everything. It's literally just a plain basic hat, and I love it because it's my favorite color. So this yarn is 100% acrylic. It's Loops and Threads Impeccable, which is a worsted weight in the colorway gold. Yeah, that's the gold colorway. So yeah, if she doesn't get back to me, I need to text her again the server that this is for, but if she doesn't get in touch with me this time, I'm just gonna chalk it up to she didn't really want it, which is fine because, like I said, it's my favorite color and it fits me, so I'll keep it. Yeah. What else did I want to say? Did I use a German twist? I think I did. I'm pretty sure I did. I usually do. But yeah, I used a German twist cast on and what size needles? I think I used a US 3, which is a 3.25 on the ribbing, and the body and decreases are in US 6, which is 4 millimeter. So yeah, just a simple hat, but I love it. I can totally see myself making a ton of these for charity or just like as gifts. They're really quick. And the other finished object that I have, I kind of mentioned to you guys last week, well, yeah, last week. It was last week. But yeah, it was part of my Cravin It, and I'd gotten the yarn as retail therapy. So this is the crochet version of the Wonder Woman wrap. And oh, that one end still isn't woven in. Okay, need to handle that. But yeah, I love it. This is the other side. It's pretty much the same thing. Yeah, so I love this, and these colors are showing up pretty true. That red is maybe just a little bit darker than what it actually is, but it's pretty true to color on screen. So, yeah, oh my gosh, I love this. I was kind of last week talking about how I really wanted like the perfect red and that perfect gold. The gold I really love, and I'm definitely glad that I got this gold. But I wasn't really sure about the red because I did kind of want a darker red. But hindsight, I actually am glad that I used this red. I feel like because it's not as dark, it's a tonal and it does kind of have like those brighter sections where it looks like little white is kind of speckled throughout. And it makes it look a little vintage to me. So I really like that I used this thread. I'm really happy about it. Yeah, so I'm in love with this, and there are two sizes in the pattern, the Wee and the Wondrous. And that's for both the knit and the crochet versions. It's basically small and large, and I did the Wondrous, which is the larger one. Super glad that I did. This is not this is not getting blocked because as you can see it's already pretty see-through. Like it's already pretty open, and I actually went down one needle size. Is that, yeah. Yeah, or not needle, hook size. Yeah, I just went down one hook size. I used a G or 4.25 millimeter hook, and the pattern calls for an H, and I actually was getting a stitch gauge. I wasn't too concerned about row gauge, I was more concerned about stitch gauge, and I actually was getting a good gauge for the stitches on the H, but it was a little bit more open than this. And that's why I went down another hook size, because I didn't really like how open it was. So it's still open here, but I definitely like this a lot better. I did add 2 rows, so this top border part is just half double crochets across. And I did add 2 rows of half double crochet because I didn't like how skinny it was, so I added a little bit more. I had enough to add 2 more rows. And this is the yarn that I had left over. But actually, I still need to tell you what the yarn is. Here are my tags. So first of all, this is how much I had left over. So this is, and I had full skeins. These were both 100 grams when I started. So this is a really great project to do if you have those two colors that you want to knock out. And you know, you don't have to do it in red and gold. People have done it in other colors and it still looks amazing. So this red I just had 5 grams left of. So yeah, good thing I have that other skein from my elephant cowl. So I'll definitely have, hopefully I'll have something to put in my blanket. But this red is Rena Mae Yarns in her Crimson colorway. And this gold it's definitely more than 5 grams. I can't remember how much it is now. Maybe 15, somewhere around there. Maybe 20 grams, I can't remember. But I still had a good bit left over, so I'm thinking maybe about 10 or 15 grams. And this is Conjure Yarns in her 4-ply sock, and the colorway is Gold Dust. So I really love these. Super, you know, glad that I put these two together because they just look really good. So that's literally the leftover yarn, and that made me really happy too that I could use up all of my yarn like that. So yeah, this took me about 3 days to make, and I'm saying about, but like literally I started it on the 11th, which was my dad's birthday, and then I finished it on the 13th. I actually had most of this done. Like I had over half of this knit by the time that I went to bed on the 11th. Like technically, you know, it was like the wee hours of the 12th. I had over half of this done. It would have been done on the 12th, but I couldn't stay up. It was a busier day and I was just tired and I couldn't stay up as long as I wanted to work on it. But it's done, and I got to enter it for the Crew of Yarniest Cow that Cherry Pearls was hosting or co-hosting. So yeah, those are my finished objects, and I think that's all that I needed to say about this. So let's get into some whips. And let's see. I feel like I've done all of this already, so I'm just kind of like, where is everything? What do I need to talk about? So my first whip that I'll show you is the Felici socks that I'm doing for Melissa, and I'm housing. So these finally have a project bag. It's only one sock, but it wasn't in a project bag before. I was just throwing this in my book bag, but since I have, and I'll talk about this in a minute with my blanket, I was keeping the minis that Melissa had most recently given me for my Cozy Memories blanket in this bag, and I finally got all of those in the blanket, so now my socks have a bag. And this is my Harry Potter sock sack from Manicory Creations. I love that bag so much. It's one of my favorites. So yeah, so this is again Felici, Knit Picks Felici in the Sunset colorway. I just have one 50-gram ball left, and I am using it to make Melissa some shorties. So this Progress Keeper marks about where I was the last time that I showed you guys, and I've done a little bit on it. So this Progress Keeper is one that I got from Kalisha of Quirky Monday Crafts. She made them and sent them to me because they're little butterflies. And they actually match the socks really well because they have red beads. I'm using my US 000 1.5 millimeter ChiaoGoo mini twist needles. My favorite sock needles, absolute favorites. So yeah, so Melissa has a bigger foot than me, which is not hard to do. Yeah, so luckily it's still just vanilla, so even with like more stitches, it really doesn't feel any different, and there are only 8 stitches more, yeah, Is that right? Yeah, they're only 8 stitches more than, you know, what I usually knit. So they're not really all that much bigger. It's interesting though how, like, you know, those 8 stitches, like, it does actually make a difference. But yeah, so I'm knitting these toe up, 64 stitches total, and I think I've got just a little bit, I think I've got less than an inch to go before I get to where I need to start the mini heel flap adjustment that is in the Mina's Vanilla Sock Recipe by Knitting Expat. So I'm going to use that because Melissa has a really thick instep, and so I need to do those, and then it'll be a German short row heel, and then I'll go back to the leg for a little bit, because these will be shorties, because like I said, this is the only skein I have, and I still have to do her other sock. But yeah, I actually am loving this project. So the only time that I work on these socks is when I am on the bus to and from my car or class on campus. And I actually really love that, this needle's coming unscrewed, but I actually really love that that's the only time that I work on them, because they're so vanilla that, you know, just even if I'm only on the bus for like 10 minutes, it's super awesome to just sit there and work on these. It's great. I love it. It's just a simple project to keep on the bus with me. And I think that as now probably what's going to happen is that I'm not going to keep, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, because if I only work on these socks on the bus, I'm never going to knit myself another pair of socks, because, you know, I told you guys I'm alternating between her a pair, me a pair, her a pair, me a pair. I've got socks that I want to cast on for me, like multiple pair right now, and I can't because, yeah. So maybe this weekend I will work on these, and I probably will, because I would like to do the heel while I'm at home. Do like the gusset increases, the little gusset increases that I have to do, get the heel and all of that out of the way. I would like to do that while I'm at home, so I can look at the pattern and just kind of concentrate. So hopefully, hopefully I can get this one sock like cruising along this weekend. But you know, it's a great project, and I love that I have just been working on it on the bus, because I'm still getting a lot of progress done. So that's that. Actually, I'm just gonna like toss that back by my book bag. I just keep it over there, so I always grab it. And what else? Is that the only whip that I've shown? Yes. Okay. So my next whip is under my show notes, so I'll show it next. This is my May sweater by Andrea Mowry, and I'm just knitting it, oh dear, just knitting it out of, again, 100% acrylic. This is Red Heart Super Saver in the Cafe Latte colorway, and that's showing up very true to color. So let me get this kind of situated. Okay, yeah. So I can't really remember. It's been a little bit since I showed you guys this. Maybe a couple episodes, maybe even 3 or 4. I'm not sure. But yeah, this is where I am right now. I'm just in the middle of the body, still working away at the twisted stockinette, which I love the texture of. But yeah, just working away at this, so, you know, it's still going to be a little bit, because I think I have to work to 19 inches, and I'm only at, I don't know, maybe 8, somewhere around there, maybe 8 or 9, so, yeah, this has not really seen too much work. I did put in some work on it this week, but I need to really get cracking on it, because it's going to be really warm soon, and I'm not going to be able to wear it. And, you know, that little bit of spring weather that we're going to get, I would like to be able to wear it. And it's acrylic, so I'm going to be able to wash it and dry it, and it's super oversized. Like, I know I'm going to love it, and I totally want the finished product. I just need to finish knitting it. So, yeah, that's where that's going. I'm using US 8, which is 5 millimeters, and that's my ChiaoGoo interchangeable set. So, I can set this down. So, next, I'll just go ahead and show you guys my spinning. So last week I showed you the braid, and I haven't like started working on this at all still. I'm still kind of doing my little test that I told you guys about. So, so last week I showed you like the length of the piece that I had taken off of this braid. It was a little bit less than an ounce, and so I'm basically using that as my little test, kind of just to get in the groove before I spin the whole braid. And so I showed you the piece. It was maybe about, I don't know, maybe about this long. It was just a little bit under an ounce, and so I split that in half, and so those halves were my plies. So this is one ply. Oh dear. Okay, I've hooked my shirt. So this is one ply, and this is another ply. And I had this one on the spindle still last time, and I've gotten that off now. It's just on a toilet paper roll. I just wound it off in there. I was going to wind it on my ball winder, but that proved a little bit more difficult because I didn't want the twist to come out as I was trying to like get it. Yeah, it was just too difficult. So I needed like an extra pair of hands, and so yeah, and I didn't feel like bothering my boyfriend to ask. So I just wound it off on here by hand, which was fine. And the thin yellow that you're seeing on there is Melissa's spinning that she had started on it before she gave it to me. So I don't really know what I'm going to do with that part when I start plying because, yeah, like that's not, you know, a part of the 0.7 ounces that I had. So I don't know. I might just have to like wind that off onto the spindle. I don't know. But anyway, so I got that off of the spindle, and then I took the other half and broke it down, split it up further like I had the first one, and then I pre-drafted all of those, and then it took me about 45 minutes to an hour. I really think it's closer to about 45 minutes that it took me. I spun that other half up. So it is ready to go. I have a paper towel roll over there that I was trying to save to rig up something for cowls, but yeah, anyway, it's not, I just need to cut it up already and get over it, so that I can have another makeshift bobbin to use. And then I'm going to have to figure out plying, in the next week. Hopefully I'll get that situated, because I would like to ply and then like get back to actually spinning that braid. So yeah, so that's happening. My little bit of spinning that I showed, or that I've done. And next, let's see, what do I want to show now? I guess I will talk about this first. Let's do this one. So, oh dear. Okay, the spindle keeps like catching on everything. Okay, I'm just gonna move this over here. So, in my other Manicory Creations bag, and there's her tag there. That's how you spell it. So in this, I'm housing my Shoot for Stars test knit, which is a pattern by Critium Handmade. And the yarns are both Wild Happy color, and my main color is, the colorway name is Happy, and this is her Nurture base, which is her MCN base. So there's that one. I really wish you guys could see like the neon yellows and greens because it's just so pretty. And then the other, my contrast color is Northern Lights, and this is on her bedazzled silver base, and it's 84 superwash merino, 16% silver stellina, and you can see like that 16% does a world of difference. Just look at that sparkle, it's so pretty. So yeah, I'm loving working with her yarn. This is the first time that I've worked with it, and I absolutely love it. So this is where I am on my test knit. So I can't remember, these markers that are on here don't mark anything as far as like showing you guys where I was counting. I was using them to count. But yeah, so this is what I've got so far. And I'm loving it. It's a really simple pattern. It's really easy to just get caught in it and like just breeze through it. So I'm hopefully going to get a lot of work done on this weekend because I could totally have it done within the next couple of weeks. Yeah, so where I am now, I have another one of these main color sections and then another little stripe section of the contrast color. And then soon after that, I will be halfway through and working on the lace. It's a giant lace section that's just in the contrast color. So, yeah. I am loving the way that this is working out. I'm knitting this on US 3s, which is 3.25 millimeter. This is my Clover Takumi wooden bamboo interchangeable set. I didn't have to say wooden and bamboo. Anyway, so yeah, this is that shawl so far. I'm really, really loving it. I can totally see myself making another one too, because it's just a really awesome pattern. So there's that. Hopefully you'll see a lot of progress. I need to remember to put a progress keeper on that. Or maybe I'll just move one of those up to show my progress. Maybe I'll do that. But anyway, so the last work in progress that I have to show is this giant pile of amazingness called my Cozy Memories blanket, which I'm totally holding. Alright, I'm gonna have to put my knees down and like figure this out. So yeah, this I guess is me just kind of showing it to you. So hold on, if I can get it where I'm at the bottom, I can actually just kind of do a span of it for you guys. Hopefully, we'll see. This may prove to be more difficult than I think. But yeah, so here's just kind of the bottom, and yeah, I'm just kind of take you on an adventure here with my blanket. Just kind of show you all of it, because I probably won't really do this again and like super show you all of it until it's actually done. So here's like this top section up here. Yeah, so I'm loving this. I've really put a lot of squares in this in the past week. That is stuck there and I don't know why. Anyway, so the squares that I've done since I last showed it to you start right here. I was putting markers on all of them, and then I was like, nope. I stopped after those two. I was like, nope, that takes too much time, and I needed them for other things. So so this diagonal and this diagonal that's on the edge right here is what I've done. So yeah, so just most of these are minis that Melissa gave me or leftovers from projects. So you can see like my Cheers socks. This is the Lavender Lune Hearthside that I did my Spindrift shawl in, which still needs to be blocked. I found some old minis that I had left over from other projects a while ago, from some test knits. Mini from Melissa, my Weasley socks from Teeny Button, another mini from Melissa. So is this one. So is this one. This is some Felici. Yeah. And then I already went ahead and put in my mystery shawl colors. So this is the gold, and I ran out. I didn't have enough, so I put in another gold. And sparkly colorway and the blue from that set. So, yeah. So I think I have, I can't do math, 15 squares? I think it's 15 that I have left. 6, 10, yeah, 15. So I'm super excited because the way that I'm working diagonally, the rows, I do rows of squares diagonally, and so the rows are getting 1 square less for each one. So this next one will only have 5 squares, and then the one after that will only have 4, and then 3, and then 2, and then 1, and super excited. You know, so it's like I'm basically only working over this span now, you know, like between these 2 squares, and it's gonna be awesome. I'm really excited. So hopefully within the next couple months I can get that done. Over in the Sock Yarn Swappers group on Ravelry, they do like a sock blanket along. Oh, excuse me. Every month, and I finally got around to like remembering to go in there because the first 3 days of each month you go in and you post a picture of your blanket and you state a goal of how many like squares or parts or whatever you're going to get done on it. And so my goal for this month is 10 squares, and I've done 9. So I just need 1 more, and I'm probably going to do more than that one. But I'm super excited about that because hopefully she'll keep doing that throughout the year. I'm the person that's leading it, and I'll be able to finish this one and get started on the next one because yeah, I can't really take a picture because it's super like messy, but right here on my coffee table I have like a lot of the times lately even I've been finishing minis, and if there's like a significant amount, like this is the blue for my sister shawl, there's a significant amount, so I'm just sitting it over here and I will put another square in on the next Cozy Memories blanket because I don't want repeat colors in this one, but for the next one I don't care if I use, you know, colors that were in that first one, and I might even end up repeating just because, you know, this is a lot of yarn, but it won't be, you know, anywhere near the first square. They won't be really close together. So anyway, I've got a bunch of those that have still like a good bit of yardage down here, and I'm really excited to start on the next Cozy Memories. For this project, I'm using my signature Needle Arts needles that Melissa gave to me to use for the blanket. This is the 2.75 millimeter straights. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. I do 55 stitches total on my blanket, and I use a center double decrease. Yeah. I think on the next blanket, I'm going to use that same needle size because I love those needles. But I think I'm either going to do, it's either going to be 40, it's going to be somewhere between 45 and 49. I think I'm really leaning towards 47 though, 47 stitches. I'm just going to go down in stitch size and not in needle size, or in stitch count and not in needle size, and that'll still make smaller squares. Yeah, so that's coming along really great. I'm super excited about it. So, that's it for whips. So let's get into some Cravin It. I just have 2 things to talk about. So the first one is really a UFO, a languishing whip. It's not anything new, but it's in this shop small bag, which is probably what it will be in until it's done. Because it's huge, and I just don't have any other project bags that it can fit in. So, if you remember, I haven't showed this in forever. I haven't looked at it in forever. Well, you know, the last take of this podcast. But anyway, so, this is my Find Your Fade. I'm trying to find the right side. Okay. Alright, here we go. So, this is my Find Your Fade shawl, which is a pattern by Andrea Mowry. And you can see mine is huge. So this first color I used for 2 sections. So I used it as color A and color B because I wanted more of that gold in there. And then you can see I changed right in here. It's very subtle because these yarns go together very well. So let me see if I can pop these up. So this is the first one. It's Madeline Tosh, and I don't remember details, but it's on my project page, which I will link below. So that's Mad Tosh and this beautiful gold. That's more of the color that it actually is. And this is the color that this one actually is too. So it's got like the gold tones and a darker orange over in there, and then it's got like pops of green, which I think look really pretty. Those 2 colors faded really well together, so it's just kind of difficult to see it on here, but hopefully if I hold it up to the screen there, you can kind of tell. But yeah, those 2 colors just faded together really well. Yeah, like here's the little fade section down here, like right here, and you can see how well it just blends because the colors just matched really nicely. Yeah, and that second color is, never mind, don't make me lie to you. But again, it's on my project page. And the way that I've done my project page for this project, I have been winding up the next color as I get to it, and then I take a picture of it and put it on like this dash page. So like the only ones that have pictures of the yarn on there are these 3 so far. So it'll be pretty easy to tell which one is which. Because it's also the only one that I don't remember the name of. So the first one is Mad Tosh, and the second one, of which I am destroying the cake, or this third color, is Cascade Heritage in the cinnamon colorway. And it's just this beautiful deep orange, and yeah, I love it. Now this one isn't fading as well as the first one, but I still love it. So there's all 3 colors. Yeah. So, and I'm actually on the, you can see at the top there, I'm actually on the lace bit. So this is technically color D as far as the pattern is concerned. It's the 3rd color in mine because I'm only using 6, but this is color D in the pattern. And so you can see I've already started on the decreasing now. So it's only increasing on the other side, and this side it's decreasing. So I've got this point. And I'm super happy. Like, I'm over halfway now. So I really just want to pick it up and work on it and like get it done. So after I finish that test knit shawl that I just showed you guys, the Shoot for Stars shawl, I'm going to put this on those needles and pick it back up. Now, you might ask, why are you changing needles? Well, I don't know. It didn't really show up all that well in the last one, so I might have to just take a picture and pop it in, but I'll try to show you guys again. So, here, let me try to show it from the back. So, you can see, ooh, yeah, you might be able to tell now. So you can see down here where I was working before, like, the garter's pretty loose. And then up here it gets very, like, together is the best way that I can describe it. Like, you can tell that my garter stitch now is a little bit tighter, like it's not as loose and open as it was before. This is because, so I'm thinking that it's because of all the sock knitting that I've been doing and like perfecting my sock recipe, because I am such a loose knitter. I have to knit smaller and a little bit tighter to get, you know, kind of a normal sock gauge. And so overall it's made my knitting tighter than it was before. I'm still a very loose knitter, but just like compared to my knitting and what it was before, I'm knitting a little tighter. And the same thing happened when I picked up my All About That Brioche shawl. So, which no, is still not finished. But yeah, so I'm gonna put this shawl on a cord from my Takumi set, and I'm gonna have to go up a couple needle sizes. So I'm knitting this. I was knitting this on a US 2.5, which is a 3.0 millimeter needle, and I'm gonna try to go up to a 4. When I put it back on the other ones, I'm gonna go up to a size 4. Yeah, so hopefully that'll kind of fix the issue. I don't want to work on it until then because my gauge definitely changed, and I don't want half of the shawl to look one way and the other half to look another. So when I pick that back up, that's what will happen. But yeah, so that's the first part of Cravin It, because I really want that shawl to wear because the colors in it. I'm so excited about the fade that I have set up. And the other part of Cravin It, I'll pop a picture of the pattern in here if I feel like getting on Instagram to get it. But it is a new pattern release by Sarah Shira. I hope I'm pronouncing her last name right. But she is half of the Imagine Landscapes podcast, audio podcast. And I think this is her first published pattern that she's done for the year. And it's called the Winter Bright Hat. And yeah, so hopefully I've popped in a picture. I've gotten over my laziness and I put a picture in for you guys to see it. But it's beautiful. And I am planning on using something that I got in retail therapy. So when I show you guys that yarn, I will mention this again and let you know that that's what I'm using. So speaking of retail therapy, let's get to it. Again, I said this on the last take too. I don't know why I don't take these things out of the plastic before I show you guys, because after I show it on the podcast, I just throw the plastic away anyway. No, never mind. I think I do it to keep things together. Like this I could have taken out of the plastic because it's a set, but like other things, there are multiple skeins. I think I do it to keep stuff together, but still. Anyway, so excuse the loud noises and crinkling. So I finally got some legacy fiber arts, and you have no idea how excited I am about this. Oh my gosh. Guys, I've been trying, like, well, okay, that's a lie. I haven't really been trying, but whenever, like, before, Chelsea, like, got pregnant, you know, when they were doing, more, not that this is a bad thing that she got pregnant. I don't want it to sound like that was a bad thing, but, before when they were podcasting more on, like, a regular schedule, and they were always doing updates, and I wanted so many of their colorways, and I didn't have money because I was buying a lot of other yarns. But yeah, so the other day they posted on their Insta that she had a few sets left of Kirk. So first of all, this is a Gilmore Girls colorway, all of which I want theirs of. They have like the women and the men of Stars Hollow, and I want all of them because they're all gorgeous, and it's Gilmore Girls, so you don't really have to twist my arm. But yeah, so anyway, so she had the Kirk set in there, which is the one that I've always wanted the most. And there you go, you can see it says Kirk. And yeah, so I finally got all of that to say. Basically, I got a sock set. Now, this is one of the ones that I'm really wanting to cast on right now for me. This is actually not the next one that I'm going to do. I don't even know if I talked to you guys about that pattern that I'm going to do. But anyway, I'll mention it when I get there, when I start it. But yeah, so this is going to be a pair of socks for me. I'm super excited. Yeah, so Legacy Fiber Arts. finally got some of the yarn. Thank goodness. Now I just need to like focus on getting some more of the yarn. So these next three, or basically three things. Anyway, there's going to be a lot of crinkling, so just, you know, excuse that, because as I've done the last 2 episodes, I'm not going to edit anything out. Lavender Lune, Samantha of Lavender Lune Yarn Company was doing, I'm going to like pop this back just a little bit. So she was doing a destash, and I can't remember where she did it first. I think it was just always on her Ravelry page. I truly can't remember. And I think she still has maybe a couple skeins left, unless people have gotten those too. I think a lot of people kind of responded to her about it from when I last looked at her Ravelry stash. But anyway, so she was destashing. And of course I got on there and found some things. Anyway, so let's continue in kind of this thread. I finally have a skein of Wool and Vine yarn. It might be the only skein of Wool and Vine that I ever own in my life, because, yeah, just her updates are just too hectic for me, and, yeah. Anyway, stuff just, you know, and it's a good thing for her. Like, her yarn is beautiful, and it's definitely deserved that it goes that quickly, but it goes that quickly, and I never seem to be able to get anything I want, so... Anyway, all that aside, so I got this Wool and Vine. Oh, yeah, that shows up pretty well. You can kind of see the pops of green over in there and kind of that darker gold. So this is Wool and Vine yarns in her Strass base, which is 80/20 superwash merino nylon. Yeah, and it's 100 grams, 400 yards, and the colorway is Golden Amber. And I bought this when I was still looking for golds for my Wonder Woman wrap, but in hindsight, I'm actually glad that I didn't use this one anyway. So now I'll just have a great pair of Wool and Vine to do something with. Yeah, so now, you know, I'll have kind of a, I guess this would be a tonal, maybe? I'm not sure if this would be considered a tonal or kind of more of a variegated. But anyway, I'll have kind of a solid color to do something with now, which is awesome because I needed more of that anyway. So I got that, and then I also got House of a la Mode. Lots of new yarns, because I don't have any of their yarn either. Not necessarily one that like I keep in my mind a lot, but I have wanted to try some of their yarn. So this is okay, anyway, so apparently, sorry, I have just now looked at the tag, like literally just then. So this is House of a la Mode. There's their tag. And this is their House Fingering Base, which is a 2-ply 80/20 superwash merino nylon. And it's a limited edition apparently, or was a limited edition. And the colorway name is Hayride. And I love this. That's showing up pretty true to color. It's got these grayish blues, or bluish grays rather. And then like this beautiful green, like brownish green color. So yeah. Oh, and then right there you can kind of see some of the speckles over in there. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. So I remember when I saw this in her stash, I was like, ooh, I can make blah, 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 but I don't remember what I said. It might have just been that I wanted a pair of socks. I really don't remember. So this might sit in the stash for a pretty long time because I do love this colorway, and I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with it. Yeah, so there's that. And then the other skein that I got is my first Regia. So yeah, it's literally like a week of first. Anyway, well, at least for these packages. But yeah, so I got some Arnie and Carlos Regia, and this is the colorway. You know, I'm not sure because this is written in German and I don't know. Is Farb? Is that Farbe? Farb? Anyway, is that the colorway? I don't know. I'm just gonna show you guys. So yeah, I don't really know which one is which. And I haven't gone on Ravelry, so I don't really know. But anyway, yeah, so I got this, and it's 75/25 wool and nylon. Is polyamide nylon? Like I think it is, but I could be wrong. Anyway, so she had 2 skeins of this for 100 grams because this is just a 50-gram ball. But I knew from doing the Felici that I would only need 50 grams. I didn't want to get both and then like not know what to do with the other one. Hindsight, I'm wishing that I had just gotten both of them simply because I love this colorway. But logically, I'm still glad that I didn't get the other one because I know I'm going to use this for socks and it's totally not going to take me more than 50 grams. So, oh, excuse me. Yeah, so I can't remember how much the Felici has in it, but anyway, it's 50 grams. I'm probably going to do what I did with the Felici, though. I'm probably just going to knit a sock tube with this and then do Afterthought heels and cuffs in a contrast color. That's probably what I'm going to do with this. So yeah. So I've got basically like the next 3 sock projects for me planned. Not to mention that I have to like knit Melissa a pair of socks in between all of those. So I might have to break that rule because I really want to knit myself some socks. Yeah, so Melissa, expect a pair of socks soon because I've got to cast some stuff on for me. Alright, my spindle is getting stuck in things again. So, this next bit of retail therapy. So, that stuff that I just showed you guys was from Samantha of Lavender Lune, but it was from her actual stash. This is from Lavender Lune Yarn Co., like stuff that she actually dyed. So, she had her, kind of like her signature colorway for the shop, which is called Lavender Moon, and you can see and but why I say, oh my god, that smells gorgeous. Anyway, so I'm saying we because me and Melissa did basically a joint order. I ordered it and she just paid me back. So we got 2 skeins of the worsted, and Melissa wanted 2 of the worsted, but, okay, has anyone else noticed this? When you get on Etsy on your phone, whether you're on the app or, like, the actual internet, when you're on Etsy at least on phones, I don't know if it's the same thing on tablets or anything, but, so on a computer, you can, like, check out from only one shop, as opposed to doing it all of them, like they have recently changed to. Like, it gives you the option if you only want to buy from that one shop and check out, you can. On my phone, it doesn't do that, whether I'm on the internet or if I'm in the app. Like, it doesn't give me that option. So wherever I was out and about at the time, and I was asking her what she wanted, and I had everything in my cart. Like, I could have bought it then, except I couldn't check out from only that shop, and I didn't want it, like, I have too many things in my cart to go through and be like, oh, I'm going to move all these to save for later. It's just too much, and then I would have to move them all back. So by the time that I got home, I got to my laptop and could order. Things that we wanted were, like, gone. And by things that we wanted, I just mean, like, the bases. People had already ordered them, so that kind of sucked, but you know, we still got stuff, so we're not really complaining. But anyway, Melissa wanted saying all that to say, Melissa wanted 2 skeins of worsted, and then I was going to get a skein of worsted. But there were only 2 left by the time that I could order, so she's getting one and I'm getting one. I was going to give her the other one just kind of as like a birthday present so that she could have her too, and then Sarah released the Winter Bright hat that I talked about earlier. So one of these, yeah, I mean they really just look the same, but anyway. Yeah, so first of all, this is her Lavender Moon colorway. It's a beautiful, like, dark purplish gray, and it's got like burgundy, maroon, like pops over in there, and like some deep purples. It's super pretty. I love it. But yeah, so one of these will become the Winter Bright hat for me, and hopefully I'll have enough yardage, and the other one will be going to Melissa. And then I also got her gold stellina base. So this is 75 superwash merino, 20 nylon, 5% stellina, and this is the same colorway, Lavender Moon, but I just got it in the stellina. I think that this is going to be socks. I think that I got it because I wanted it to be socks, and I might make some matching wrist warmers or fingerless mitts. So there's that, and that actually gives me an idea that I was thinking about the other day. So yeah, so we got 3 skeins of her kind of shop colorway, basically. And then in that same order, again, excuse the crinkling. So in that order, and here's her little thank you card with the shop on there at the bottom. Yeah. So in this order, we also got Moonlight, which was one of her newer colorways, and oh my gosh, right up our alley. So of course we got it, and we both got her 75-25 base, and this is Moonlight, and I'll take the tag off of one of them so you can really see it. But yeah, this is Moonlight. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this. So this definitely is going to be a pair of socks. I'm thinking that actually with this one, I think that I want to do another pair of Hermione's Everyday Socks. And I just thought of that like just now. I was actually about to say I think I want to do like a 3x1 rib. No. I'm going to do Hermione's Everyday Socks because that just popped in my head and that would be beautiful in this colorway. So, and this actually, I might just go ahead and set this aside as my skein. Is that bad that I'm just kind of like, which one do I want? They look basically the same. You know how sometimes like one can have maybe a little bit more of the green or like, you know, a little bit more speckles of this or whatever, but I mean they're really about the same, so it won't matter. But yeah, so anyway, and I'm gonna stop looking at them like this because it's kind of ridiculous that I am trying to pick. I think this one is gonna be mine though. But anyway, so I'm actually just gonna set that aside right now. And I'm just going to split up these skeins of, so this would be mine. Anyway, yeah, so this will be a pair of Hermione's Everyday Socks. So that's a 4th pair that I want to cast on for myself. Melissa, I love you, but maybe knitting your socks is not the direction that I should have gone. Oh well. So anyway, where's my other tag? So yeah, we got 2 skeins of that, one for each of us. And no, that is I'm like trying to separate her stuff. And then, cause you know, I didn't exactly make a distinction because I was just making one order for the both of us. And, Samantha popped in a little mini. So this is her 80-20 superwash merino nylon base in the Cosmic Centaur colorway, which I think is such a cool name. And I totally would want to buy a full skein of this. I'll have to look in her shop. see if she has any. But yeah, I would love a full skein of this. Let's be honest, it would probably turn into socks. What can I say? Her colorways are just, they just make me want to knit all the socks. But yeah, so this is a 20-gram skein. Yeah, so I'm hoping that it's 80 yards as opposed to the usual kind of like 92. Yeah, because I think this came from a skein that just has less yardage. So this is 80 yards, it's 20 grams. I'm hoping that the 20 grams part stays true though, because at first I was like, oh, well I could just not show this and, you know, keep the mini for me, but I'm hoping that there will be enough that I can do kind of like what I did with the Advent minis, wind it up and put a square in my blanket and then just give the rest to Melissa. So hopefully I can do that. And I might actually, when I wind it up, I might actually just, like, I don't know. Never mind. I'm probably just going to wind it up and knit my square first instead of trying to split it. I feel like that might be sabotage. Self-sabotage. So, yeah. So that's the Lavender Lune that we got. And then, so I showed one of these on Instagram when I got it. So I got 2 knitting books, and wow, I need to hurry because I actually need to be leaving in like 10 minutes to go to class. So anyway, so I showed this one on Instagram when I got it. This is 750 knitting stitches, the ultimate knit stitch Bible. And now I can't remember who it's by. I can't remember. I don't know. I'll put the link, the Amazon link, in the show notes though. So yeah, right after I got it, I immediately was like, ooh, I want to flip through this and look at it and all the beautiful patterns, and I bookmarked a lot of things. So I'm not gonna like show kind of a close-up of what they say, just because, yeah. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and say it now. I've had the designing bug for, part of the reason why I was going to get this in the first place a while ago, I'd already had it in my cart for a while. I was getting the designing bug and I just felt like I needed, you know, some help. And so I went on Amazon and I was looking at it and I found this one, and 750 is a big number, guys. It's the biggest number that I've found on there so far, as far as like knitting stitch dictionaries. So I already really wanted this, and then when I was on the VKN on Saturday, we were talking about knitting stitch dictionaries, and Grace of the Babel's Traveling Yarns podcast was like, oh, I have this one, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's perfect, tell me how you like it, because I've been thinking about buying it. And within the next 5 minutes, I was like, all right, going to Amazon, buying it now. So yeah, 'cause she really liked it, and I can tell you right now, I'm going to really love it. So yeah, there's not, this one as compared to the next one that I'm going to show you guys, there's not, oh no, I just ripped the bottom of this page, guys. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so there's not as many like things to read that really like give tips and that type of thing. Like literally most of it is just patterns, and the stitch patterns. And so there are different little sections of the patterns and everything. Now in the beginning, yeah, I'm not gonna like do a full review right now because I really haven't like read through these beginning parts, but it's, like I said, it's not really a lot to read through. Like, you know, they have like tools and equipment and like talking about, you know, the yarn and buying yarn and your needles, and like they have like, you know, basic knitting, how to do a knit stitch, how to do a purl, how to cast on, bind off. They talk about, you know, just like some techniques that you might run into in the book, how to join colors. Yeah, and then they have like how to read charts. and then it's like advanced, or not advanced, advice on knitting some things. And then they have the stitch diagrams, because some of the patterns in here, they put charts in for them. And so that's like a key to all of the diagrams. And then a very long list of abbreviations for everything in here. And then it literally starts on the patterns. And like there aren't even like header pages. I was telling Melissa this last night. There aren't even header pages like, oh, now you're in the cable section. When you get there, you just flip a page and it's like, oh, all right, I'm in cables now. So it's really just mostly patterns. And then in the, like they even have a section, one of the sections is about like edgings. And I just thought that was so awesome. And then in the back there's like an index and you know, that type of thing. But yeah, so I've got a lot of plans, things that I've marked, and not all of these will end up being, you know, like projects that become patterns. Some of them will, but not all of them. Some of these really are just going to be like, oh, well, when you knit this plain sweater pattern, pop this in here because that would be pretty, you know? Like, I'm not going to put out a whole new sweater pattern for that because, yeah, that'd be kind of ridiculous. But, yeah, so this did not help. That being said, this did not help. I already definitely had the design bug. I had just a bunch of ideas, and I've been writing them down and things on my laptop and just, like, in a little notebook I have with design ideas, and this did not help because now I just have a ton of ideas. So yeah, that might, you know, be coming to fruition soon. A few of those, and then this other one that I got, I'll make sure the link is to this also in the show notes, and this is just cable left, cable right. And it's basically the same thing. It's a knitting stitch dictionary, but it's just for cables. And you can see there are 94 in here, and this is by Judith Durant. And this one, so that one, you know, basically kind of was my review. I'll talk about it again whenever I do a review on this one. But, I mean, that one, like, you know, they've got the patterns written out really clearly on all of the pages. And like I said, when you get to some of the ones, I think it's all of, like, the color work ones that are in there. There are charts for everything. Like, you know, it's mostly just the stitch patterns because there are so many. There's not, like, a ton of information besides that bit in the beginning kind of showing you the basics. So, you know, even when I talk about it again, like, there won't be that much for me to talk about that one. You know, I love how it's laid out, and the stitch patterns are great. So, this one, though, there is a lot more to talk about, because since it's only about cables, and again, I haven't actually read this, I have just, like, flipped through a little bit. So this one, it's kind of the same thing. Like, she goes over cable basics. And then, and again, this is not a review because even now I'm just flipping through. But, you know, it's like she talks about basic cables and that type of thing. But there are also, like, sections where she's, like, really giving advice about things. And, you know, kind of helping you through some of that. Even while, you know, and, like, all of these also have, like, charts and stuff for each of them. So, you know, I'll definitely do a review of both of these once I've kind of, like, read through them a little more. Especially this one. I'm not going to talk about it anymore because I haven't read through it, and there's definitely a lot. Yeah, like, she has this whole section at the end that's called design considerations and things to think about when you're using cables in your own original designs. So this one, it might be a while before I really can sit down and do a review for this, because I really want to read through and be able to tell you guys about, you know, how it is as a book. So, and other than that, that was all the, like, physical, well, all of it's physical, but that was all of the retail therapy. And the only other thing that I got I'm not going to pull out and show you. I finally got the next longest, the next length cord for my ChiaoGoo set, for both the small and the large needle sizes. It's the 30-inch cord, which will make a 38-inch cord when I put my needles on it. So I really needed that. But yeah, that's basically everything that I wanted to show you guys, which is great because, yeah, I need to be leaving within like 15 minutes at the latest. So, yeah, so that's everything that I wanted to show you guys. And I don't think I had anything else to say. Just a reminder that the FO thread for the Spring Garment Cal is open and linked below. Feel free to come chat in the Ravelry group. I think that's it, yeah. Stay on the lookout for some news about a live show or episode with Melissa sometime soon. We still haven't planned. She just got back from out of town, and we haven't really gotten together yet. So stay on the lookout for that news. Hopefully that'll happen. Well, we can get kind of a plan going for what date we'd like to do for that. Yeah, so in the meantime, just kind of stay on the lookout and get your questions ready, because remember, that'll be kind of like a good time for Q&A if you want to ask me things about crafting, about things I've made, about like my life in general, you know, to a point. Yeah, you know, like if you want to ask me about school or, you know, like family, that type of thing. But, you know, again, to an extent, yeah. But, you know, that's that. I'll let you guys know when that really becomes a thing and we have a date. Because I still have to look into how to make that happen, too. So, yeah. Okay. I think that is it. So, I hope you guys have a lovely, crafty week. Or 2 weeks. I keep saying or 2 weeks whenever I feel like podcasting again. But yeah, somehow I feel like it's going to be a week again. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, follow me on social media. Feel free to tag me and things. Yeah. So anyway, I will talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.